The broadcast struck every human world without warning. Screens flickered. Comms froze mid-sentence. Civilian networks seized as an alien sigil burned onto every display, a jagged obsidian crest framed in crimson flame. People paused in streets, workstations, orbital lifts, and deep space decks as a towering figure materialized above their cities. His voice rolled like thunder dragged across metal. I am High Warlord Karzul, Sovereign Blade of the Zarkith Dominion. Humanity, kneel. Deliver your resources, surrender your fleets, and swear obedience. Refusal means annihilation. The message repeated twice, then vanished, leaving a suffocating hush over billions. It was not the threat that terrified humanity. Species had threatened them before. What unnerved every soldier, worker, and child was the tone, an ancient arrogance, a predator announcing the kill before striking. In the war room beneath Erebus Station, Commander Astra Vale watched the transmission end on the central holoscreen. The warlord's molten eyes locked onto hers even though he couldn't see her. She held her posture, hands clasped behind her back, boots braced on the reinforced platform. Around her, officers whispered over one another, some furious, others shaken. Astra remained still. Cut civilian channels, she ordered quietly. Restore local authority frequencies. No public response. Yes, Commander, the comms officer replied, hands flying across his console. Director Halden approached from behind, his footsteps echoing against the polished black floor. The Council wants an immediate position statement, he said. The frontier colonies are demanding assurances. Astra didn't answer right away. She studied the static hanging in the air where Karzul's face had glared moments earlier. The Dominion believed silence meant fear. They didn't understand humans. They didn't understand her. Send them a single line, she said. Protocol KQ-1 initiated. Halden's brows rose. You're invoking quietus? I'm activating a precaution, she corrected, though both knew the truth. Quietus wasn't precautionary. It was final. Unseen strikes. Soundless incursions. A doctrine built to win wars before they began. Halden exhaled. The Council will approve. They always do when you're the one asking. She didn't reply. Astra left the chamber, her stride measured, purposeful. The glass wall lining the corridor revealed Erebus Station's outer hull, a skeletal ring suspended in the void, lights winking against the black expanse. Beyond it, stars drifted like distant embers. Humanity's frontier settlements hung out here, scattered and exposed, trusting distant Earth to keep them safe. Earth couldn't protect them now. But Astra could. Her ship waited in Docking Bay 3, the Horizon Wraith. A vessel built for silence, matte metal, sensor null hull plates, and a gravity displacement core that left no detectable wake. Most fleets relied on force projection. The Wraith embodied absence. Its presence was felt only when it was already too late. As Astra approached the boarding ramp, Lieutenant Orion Kale stood at attention, his uniform immaculate except for the silver streak in his dark hair, a remnant of his past life prowling pirate routes before the Directorate recruited him. Commander, he said, falling in step beside her. I saw the Dominion broadcast. Arrogant bastard thinks he's already won. Astra didn't indulge his anger. Overconfidence makes enemies predictable, she said. Predictable, sure. But a species that old doesn't bluff. They don't have to. She stepped inside the Wraith's dim corridor. That's why we act first. The command deck came alive as she entered. Holographic interfaces unfolded from the floor like sheets of light. Dr. Lissa Tran, the ship's AI warfare chief, looked up from her console. Her bright, analytical gaze contrasted with her calm posture. We're running full-spectrum stealth testing, Lissa reported. Quantum bleed is stable. Signature profile is nil. Mara Jean, chief engineer, slid out from beneath an open panel, wiping her hands. The displacement core is synced. Don't push it past 80% at launch, or it'll shear a hole in the deck. Astra nodded. Status on fleet readiness? 4 support vessels aligned in the Ashen Expanse, Lissa replied. Awaiting your signal. Astra lowered herself into the central command seat. The leather molded to her posture like it remembered her. The screens dimmed as the bridge recognized her authorization. "Lieutenant Kale," she said. "Secure all channels. I want no leaks, no speculation." He locked down the comm grid. "Done. We're dark." Astra opened the classified briefing projected on her display. Quietus Protocol. Objective 1. Disrupt Dominion communication arrays. Objective 2. Neutralize military supply routes. Objective 3. Eliminate war-fighting capabilities without open conflict. Objective 4. Avoid civilian targets. Humanity did not start wars. It ended them. Quietly. Astra felt a faint coil of unease tighten in her chest. This doctrine demanded precision. One misstep could trigger a galaxy-wide conflict. Yet the alternative, submission, was impossible. Orion eyed her. "You're not hesitating, are you?" She met his gaze. "I'm considering consequences." "Consequences arrived wearing ceremonial armor and threatening to burn our worlds," he said. "We either finish this fast or watch them tear us apart." She didn't disagree. But she wasn't driven by fury. She was driven by obligation. She had seen Dominion cruelty firsthand, a frontier colony stripped of power and air, left floating like a cemetery. She had vowed then, if war returned, she would end it before it spread. "Prepare for silent warp," she ordered. The crew moved in coordinated precision. Lights dimmed. The deck vibrated with low resonance as the displacement core aligned. Outside the view panel, Erebus Station shrank beneath shadow. Lissa raised a hand. "All signatures nullified. If their sensors catch us, I'll eat my own boots." Astra almost smiled. "Initiate." The stars stretched into white lines, then collapsed into a blur of shifting darkness. The ship slipped into the ashen expanse, where even light seemed reluctant to linger. The nebula's particulate dust cloud muffled energy traces, providing perfect cover for quietus. When the distortion settled, the horizon wraith drifted in a region of gray haze swirling like smoke from a dying fire. Astra studied the tactical display. The Dominion maintained a forward outpost beyond the cloud, one that would relay invasion orders the moment Karzel commanded it. That outpost would vanish before it could send anything. "Target locked," Orion said. His fingers hovered over the interface, though the weapon required barely a tap to engage. "One pulse to breach the grid. One more to erase the core." Astra steadied her breath. Ending a life face-to-face was one thing. Ending hundreds through a silent keypress felt like stepping into a moral abyss. Lissa watched her carefully. "Commander," she said softly, "we can't negotiate with creatures who only respect force." "I know." Her hand closed into a fist, then relaxed. She lifted her chin. "Execute." A ripple of invisible force surged forward, passing through the nebula like a ghost. No flash, no sound, no streak of energy, just a faint distortion that vanished as quickly as it formed. The Dominion outpost blipped off the tactical map. No transmissions. No alarms. Nothing. Astra exhaled slowly. The first strike of quietus had begun. The galaxy would not hear humanity's war. They would only feel its aftermath. The Dominion outpost's disappearance rippled across Astra's tactical display like a swallowed breath. No debris. No escaping signal. Just absence, clean, absolute, irreversible. The horizon wraith drifted within the ashen expanse, hidden inside the nebula's muted haze. Astra remained motionless for several seconds, her gaze pinned to the fading echo on the screen. The first strike had been precise. Controlled. Untraceable. But the weight of what she'd initiated pressed against her sternum like cold metal. Orion broke the silence. "One installation down. Dominion comms will reroute through secondary nodes. We can intercept the next two without leaving the nebula." "Predictable," Lissa added from her station. "Their infrastructure is ancient, built for brute force, not redundancy." Astra straightened. "Then we move before they realize anything is wrong." "Mara status?" "Core is stable." We can shift position without drawing attention. Mara's tone held confidence, but her eyes lingered on Astra, measuring her, checking if the commander still stood firm after the first bloodless kill. Begin repositioning, Astra ordered. Quiet vector, gradual drift. Keep us completely null. Mara keyed in a series of soft commands. The ship responded like a creature trained to glide silently through shadow. The hum of the engines never rose above a low vibration. Astra turned her attention to the chairs around her. Each officer worked with unwavering focus. They trusted her judgment, her restraint, her willingness to bear the consequences of this mission. Their confidence steadied her. "Lissa," she said, "pull all long-range Dominion chatter. Look for confusion." Lissa's fingers danced across her console. Streams of coded transmissions unfolded and collapsed in shimmering threads. "Intercepting now, filtering, got it." A brief pause. "They're missing the outpost, but they assume a technical fault. No mention of hostile action." "Good," Astra murmured. "We keep it that way." Far across the nebula, hidden inside the Dominion's territory, High Warlord Karzul stood on the deck of his flagship. The vessel, Blood Eclipse, glowed red beneath ceremonial lighting, its massive hull bristling with weaponry meant to intimidate entire civilizations. Karzul faced a wall-sized projection displaying fleet deployments. His command staff knelt behind him, eyes lowered. Only strategist Vorga dared speak. "My lord, the human sectors remain silent. No response. No preparation for defense. They show no movements. Because they are weak," Karzul growled. "Their species clings to peace like a shield. They expect mercy. They shall receive none." Vorga hesitated. "But their silence is abnormal. Subjugation demands usually provoke distress signals. Attempts at negotiation. Military scrambling. Not this, emptiness." Karzul turned slowly. The thin lines of pale scars across his jaw caught the red light. "You fear ghosts, Vorga." "I fear misinterpretation," the strategist replied carefully. "Humanity hides behind words," the warlord said. "Once we slice through their borders, they will beg." He dismissed them with a flick of his hand, but a faint crease had settled in his brow. Even he could not fully ignore the anomaly. He simply refused to admit it. Back aboard the Horizon Wraith, Astra studied the path ahead. 3 Dominion relay points formed a chain controlling the invasion's early stages. If she dismantled them in the right sequence, the Dominion would begin the war blind and confused. "These next targets?" Orion asked. "What's the move?" "We take them quietly," she replied. "No signatures. No gaps in their suspicion until the entire chain collapses." Lissa nodded. "I can infiltrate the first relay's encryption without leaving residue. The second will be more challenging. Its architecture is partially organic. Their biotech reacts to intrusion." "Can you bypass it?" Astra asked. "I can. But I'll need near-zero fluctuation in our displacement field." Mara responded before Astra did. "I'll keep the field steady. Even if I have to reroute half the ship." Astra watched the interplay between her crew. They were unified, efficient, driven. It reminded her why she'd accepted this mission. They trusted her, and she trusted them. "Begin approach," she said. The ship drifted out of the nebula's densest pocket, sliding into a region of gray-blue mist. The light dimmed as particulate dust swirled around them, leaving trails that twisted like serpents across the hull. Beyond the haze lay the faint pulse of the first relay station. The structure resembled a vast skeletal flower suspended in space, its petals slowly rotating to amplify transmissions. A Dominion patrol ship orbited at a distance. Astra tightened her jaw. Any visible attack would expose their presence. "Keep us masked," she said. "Lissa, infiltrate their grid." Lissa's eyes narrowed as she accessed the relay's architecture. Her pupils dilated slightly as the ship's AI fed her streams of alien code. "Decoding, filtering, injecting null thread." Astra leaned forward. The bridge fell silent except for the low hum of the ship. "Barrier breached," Lissa reported after a tense minute. Disrupting their signal matrix. Gently, Astra said. We don't want the patrol ship noticing. Lissa executed the command, her fingers steady. The relay's outer petals flickered, then dimmed, their rotations slowing. A moment later, the structure drifted into dormancy, not destroyed, but rendered useless. Orion exhaled sharply. Beautiful work. Astra didn't smile. One more. The second relay, however, was not dormant. It pulsed like a living heart. Its tendrils stretched into a glowing lattice, feeding energy into a dozen warp lines. The network throbbed with power. Astra studied it with a tightening throat. This one we take out entirely. Full collapse? Orion asked. Yes. Their organic systems won't shut down quietly. Destroy the nodes in sequence. No rupture. Lissa cracked her knuckles. On it. The wraith crept closer. The tendrils twitched as though sensing something. Lissa's hands blurred across her interface, threading code into the living structure. A faint tremor ran through the bridge. Mara cursed. The relay is probing our field. We can't stay long. Lissa, Astra said sharply. Finish it. I need 10 seconds. You have 5. Lines of alien data streaked across Lissa's display. Her jaw clenched. Almost. The relay's tendrils snapped toward them. Astra's pulse kicked. Now! Lissa slammed her palm down. The structure convulsed. Its luminous veins dimmed, then folded inward. One by one, the nodes winked out. The relay collapsed into stillness. Astra sank back into her seat. Report. Lissa wiped sweat from her temple. Relay neutralized. No outgoing alerts. Mara sighed in relief. They didn't detect us. Not yet, Astra corrected. Orion checked the projection. The Dominion still believes everything is normal. Their chain is unraveling and they haven't noticed. Astra's voice dropped to a near whisper. Then we advance. She stared into the swirling mist ahead. These first strikes had been clean, almost too clean. The real test lay deeper inside Dominion space. For now, they remained hunters in darkness, unseen, unheard, unstoppable. The next move would determine whether humanity survived the coming war or vanished beneath an empire's arrogance. Astra would make sure only one side vanished. The Dominion's frontier had shattered in silence. 3 relay networks down. 0 alerts. No trace of human interference. The Horizon Wraith drifted past the ruined lattice of the organic station as the last embers of its neural glow faded into the surrounding haze. Astra knew they couldn't remain in the expanse. The deeper strikes required penetration into the Dominion's core, the region no foreign species had ever entered willingly. She studied the illuminated map hovering above her console. 15 defense rings. 97 patrol sectors. A command fortress in the center, a colossal citadel forged from blackstone and energized with plasma veins. That fortress directed every Dominion battle decision, from mobilization to extermination orders. If they severed it, the Dominion would become a headless beast. Path plotted, Orion said. Multiple micro-jumps. No direct lines. Their sensors overlap like a web. Good, Astra replied. The moment they detect a gap, they'll know something slipped through. Mara leaned back from a panel she'd spent 20 minutes calibrating. The displacement core can manage a dozen micro-shifts if you don't ask for miracles. Astra nodded once. Let's get started. The Wraith plunged into the first micro-jump. Space warped around them without a sound, compressing and releasing like a silent exhale. The ship emerged inside a star system lit by a dying amber sun. Dominion outposts dotted the area, their hulls plated in jagged armor etched with ritual scars. Orion monitored patrol routes. Hold vector. Their ships are cycling through predictable patterns. We slip between them. Astra watched the tactical grid. Any irregular behavior? No, Lissa said. Nothing yet. They still assume they're alone. The Dominion had stretched its arrogance across centuries. No species had matched their age, scale, or brutality. They did not believe anyone could bypass their fortifications. They did not believe anyone could threaten their core. Their mistake. The Wraith advanced, weaving through the gaps. They slipped past an escort pair, two vast cruisers adorned with glowing runes. Their hulls bristled with energy lances designed to puncture starships with surgical precision. Astra's pulse steadied as they passed so close she could see Dominion crew moving behind the cruiser's viewing panels. Lissa whispered, "They have no clue we're here." "That's the point," Astra said. Across the sector, inside the fortress known as the Sanctum of the Unbroken, High Warlord Karzul listened to his advisors report a series of minor anomalies. Tiny fluctuations in outer calm nodes, unexplained silences, brief interruptions in the power grid. Vorga spoke again, voice more strained this time. "My lord, the outer lanes are quiet. Too quiet. It's not technical faults, it's pattern erosion. Something is removing our infrastructure." Karzul's nostrils flared. "You claim sabotage." "I claim precision sabotage," Vorga corrected. "Someone is dismantling our reach. Piece by piece." The warlord descended from his throne, heavy armor clanging against the metallic steps. "Only one species borders those sectors," he growled. "Humans." Vorga swallowed. "But they have shown no activity. Their silence is measurable." "Because they are weak," Karzul repeated, though the words tasted less certain. "Raise alert level in the mid-rings. Prepare fleets." His chest tightened. Something was wrong. Something he could not yet name. For the first time, a faint unease crept into him. The Wraith executed its 11th micro-jump, materializing inside a vast blue-lit system. Towers of crystalline blackstone rose from the orbiting citadel, its architecture both beautiful and terrifying. Streams of plasma coils lit the void like serpents of glowing fire. Astra felt the air shift. Her crew felt it too. This was the heart of the Dominion. Every starship, every drone, every orbital gun platform pointed inward to protect this single place. Orion inhaled sharply. "That citadel, it's bigger than half our colonies." "Don't admire it," Astra said. "We dismantle it." Lissa displayed the citadel's internal network. Their command lattice is centralized. A single neural core directs all battle strategy. If I seed it with a quantum null thread, the entire command structure collapses. "Will they detect the intrusion?" Astra asked. "They'll detect the collapse," Lissa replied. "But by then, it'll be too late." "Perfect." Astra shifted her chair forward. "Approach slowly. No deviations." Mara kept the displacement field tight as they glided beneath the citadel's glowing underbelly. The structure radiated pulsing energy, like a giant heartbeat echoing in the void. The ship drifted into the blind zone between two shield spines. Astra's breath hitched. One mistake here would ignite a war that could consume entire sectors. Quietus demanded perfection. Orion whispered, "We're inside the perimeter. No alarms." Lissa interfaced with the network. "Injecting null thread, now?" Astra held her breath. The thread entered the neural core. For a moment, everything looked normal. Then the citadel's lights flickered. A low tremor rippled across the structure, subtle but unmistakable. Karzul's voice crackled distantly across Dominion military channels. "What is happening?" Then the tremor deepened, an internal collapse, invisible externally but catastrophic within. Battle plans, fleet orders, logistics schedules, all of it blinked out simultaneously. Orion stared. "The entire command grid just died." Astra felt a chill run up her spine. The Dominion was blind. Then something unexpected happened. The citadel's outer armor cracked. A single fracture. Small, hairline, but visible. Lissa's eyes widened. "Commander, the neural core's failure destabilized its supporting matrix. We need to leave." But Astra hesitated. Not in fear, because something felt incomplete. "What about the flagship?" she asked. Lissa brought up a projection. The blood eclipse burned bright red among the collapsing structure of the command lattice. Unlike the rest of the fleet, its systems remained active, isolated, self-sustaining, independent. "He's still operational," Astra murmured. "Karzo?" Orion asked. "Yes." Astra's voice hardened. "He'll understand exactly what we've done. And he'll launch every remaining ship." "So what's the plan?" Orion asked. Astra stood. "We talked to him." Lissa blinked. "You want a direct link?" "Yes." The bridge fell silent. Astra had spent her life choosing careful distance over reckless confrontation. But Karzo would not stop. Blind or not, broken or not, he would drag his empire into burning humanity alive, unless he knew, beyond any doubt, that they had already lost. Astra faced the hollow emitter. "Lissa, patch me through. Isolate transmission. One-way link only." Lissa hesitated, then activated the channel. Astra's reflection dissolved into the image of Karzo's command throne. Sparks rained behind him as Dominion's systems malfunctioned. He looked smaller than he had in the broadcast, still powerful, but shaken by something he could not control. Karzo locked eyes with her. "You," he hissed. Astra's voice remained calm. "We dismantled your command network. Quietly. Efficiently. Without firing a single visible weapon." He snarled. "Cowards." "No," Astra replied. "Strategists." The fire behind him intensified as more systems collapsed. Astra's tone sharpened. "You demanded war. You threatened our worlds. You boasted about burning our species. Now look at your empire, warlord." Karzo trembled with fury, but his voice cracked. "What are you?" Astra answered truthfully. "Determined." She cut the connection. Lissa turned. "What now?" Astra lowered herself into her seat. "Prepare the array." Orion stiffened. "Quantum silence?" Astra nodded. "It's time." The ship aligned for the final strike. Once they activated the array, the Dominion's remaining fleets would dissolve into quiet dust. The empire that demanded war would finally understand. Humanity never shouts. Humanity simply acts. The deck of the Kestrel fell quiet the moment the Archive dreadnought split apart on the view screens. The explosion didn't roar. It blossomed, soundless in the vacuum, its shockwave rippling through the void like a dying star exhaling its last breath. Only the trembling of the ship and the distant alarms gave the crew any sense of the force that had been unleashed. Mira stood unmoving, eyes fixed on the expanding cloud of silver embers drifting where an empire had taken its final stand. Her heartbeat slowed, but it didn't settle. Victory felt unreal, too abrupt after weeks of tension, too clean after centuries of oppression. Jalen appeared beside her, still holding the neural stabilizer at his side. His voice broke the spell. "It's over." "No," Mira said softly. "Not yet." She wasn't wrong. Fragments of the dreadnought still glowed red-hot. Signals scattered from Archive ships across the sector. Their formation collapsed the instant their command vessel died, but their desperation could still spark chaos. And chaos was dangerous when entire civilizations were in the balance. Captain Lorne turned from the tactical console. His suit hung scorched across one arm, evidence of the battle's cost. "We're receiving transmissions. Every Archive outpost in the Hellion expanse is requesting terms." Mira blinked. "Terms? They never negotiate." "They do," Lorne said. "When they believe extinction is imminent." Silence followed, heavy as the void outside the hull. Jalen exhaled, long and uneven. "We pushed too far." Mira shook her head. "They pushed first. We just answered." Lorne motioned for them to follow. "Command wants you both in the war room. Now." The echo of war. The war room thrummed with overlapping voices, each one sharp with urgency. Admiral Kasara hovered over a spherical projection of the sector. Red Archive symbols blinked and faded as their fleets scattered. Human and allied signatures surged in pursuit. In the center floated the image of the dreadnought, its remains drifting like metal bones. Kasara turned as Mira and Jalen entered. "What you accomplished up there changes everything." We didn't plan to destroy them, Jalen replied. The Archive hacked the comm grid. They were going to unleash a synchronized strike across 6 colonies. And you prevented it, Kisara said. But the Council fears reprisal from the last surviving enclaves. They want an end to this conflict while we still hold momentum. Mira folded her arms. Meaning what? Kisara expanded the hologram. Dozens of Archive strongholds pulsed across the stars. We deliver our ultimatum. They accept dissolution of their war authority and surrender their command corps, or we finish what the Kestrel started. Jalen stiffened. That's not a negotiation. That's annihilation. Kisara met his gaze without flinching. Humanity didn't choose this war. But we're ending it before they rebuild. Mira understood the strategy, but dread pooled in her stomach. And what if they refuse? Kisara answered without hesitation. They won't. The final broadcast. The communication sphere dimmed. A new window unfolded, filled with shimmering blue static before resolving into the unmistakable form of an Archive overseer. Thin limbs, crystalline eyes, a posture shaped by centuries of certainty. It studied them. Its silence stretched, assessing the reality it now faced. You have executed the sovereign mind, the overseer said. Its voice resonated like layered harmonics. We predicted your collapse. Instead, you became something else. Free, Mira replied. The overseer's eyes dimmed, a flicker of mourning or calculation, she couldn't tell. Humanity has breached its biological limits. You wield technology as if it were instinct. That unpredictability makes you dangerous, even to yourselves. That unpredictability, Jalen said, is why we survived you. A long pause. Then, we acknowledge defeat. The words struck with the weight of a collapsing star. But the overseer continued, voice steady, as though surrender held no humiliation. Our fleets stand down. Our command corps will deactivate. The war authority is dissolved. Kisara straightened. Then this ends now. The overseer inclined its head. Not with your weaponry, it said, but with your refusal to become what we were. That is why our extinction will be remembered without sound. The transmission terminated. No pomp. No threat. No plea. Just silence. The war was over. Aftermath. Hours later, the Kestrel drifted above the fractured battlefield. Salvage drones pulled debris into containment nets. Search vessels combed for survivors on both sides. Mira finally removed her Nero rig. Her fingertips tingled where the conduits had been. The comm grid still hummed faintly, like distant thunder. Jalen approached her while she sat in the observation bay. You did what no one else could. We did it, she corrected, weary but steady. He hesitated, watching the drifting remnants of the dreadnought. Do you ever wonder what we're becoming? All the time, Mira said. But today, we chose restraint. That means something. He nodded but didn't look convinced. She could sense his unease. Their neural techniques, the tactical leaps, the ability to react faster than any Archive algorithm, the war had changed humanity. There was no returning to who they had been before. Every battlefield innovation came with questions no victory could erase. But survival had a price. And they had paid it together. The quiet horizon. Captain Lorne joined them, carrying a small projector. Without a word, he activated it. A golden sphere bloomed, displaying the territories that once belonged to the Archive. All were marked peaceful, an entire civilization gone still. It's strange, he said. Winning like this. Feels less like winning, Jalen muttered. More like being the last one standing in a room where the lights went out. Lorne didn't disagree. We'll spend years rebuilding the sectors they stripped. But we'll do it without looking over our shoulders. Mira stepped closer to the projection. What happens to the Archive who surrendered? They'll scatter, Lorne said. Some will adapt. Some will fade. But none will threaten the galaxy again. Mira watched a single Archive beacon flicker before vanishing. Then what we did matters. It does, Lorne said softly. More than you know. One last message? As Mira prepared to leave the bay, her console chimed. A final encrypted packet waited, origin unknown. Only one phrase displayed after the decryption completed. Survival is not domination. Evolution is not conquest. Your silence was louder than our war. She read it twice. Jalen leaned closer. From the Overseer? Maybe, she said. Or someone else who saw the end coming. She closed the message and powered down the terminal. Outside the window, the horizon burned gold as the system's star rose beyond the wreckage, casting light across metal ruins and the Kestrel's hull. It looked almost peaceful. Humanity had answered the Archive's cry for war with something far deeper than destruction. They had delivered extinction, without hatred, without chaos, without a scream. A war ended not by noise, but by resolve. Mira exhaled and let the quiet settle. The galaxy would remember that silence. And so would she.